Step 1 to convert an Edelbrock 1405 to an Edelbrock 1406 electric choke. Loosen this and remove this bracket. You don't need this bracket. Once it's gone, just put the screw back where it was. I also took out the fuel inlet plug so I can work on it easier. You just use an adjustable wrench. Alright gamers, so you're going to need a 3/16 wrench. I tried with a ratchet will not fit because of the lever arm thingy, so go get a nice and thin profile 3/16 ratchet and then let's continue. Alright, now you're going to take a 3/16 ratchet and you're going to carefully remove this little bolt here. It's kind of annoying because of this arm, but you can move it up and down to adjust it, so get that out without breaking anything. Be very careful at this part. I've almost stripped this just trying to get it out with, the exact right tool. A nut driver would also work, but I'm finding using the non-boxed end and at around this angle seems to be loosening it without stripping it, so I'm going to continue getting that out. Once you're done loosening that little screw there, don't drop it. Just twist this arm here, remove it, set it aside for later. Now, if you follow this rod along to this end of the carburetor with this bracket, you're going to see a little cotter pin right there. Pull the cotter pin. Now, with the cotter pin on the other side removed, you're going to take a 1/4 inch wrench or ratchet and you're going to remove this shaft. So, with this taken out of right there, you can just take that rod out. Alright there gamers, next you're going to see the part number 14555 and you're going to slide it onto this shaft like so, and that is just going to sit like that, which is going to match up with the installation instructions. You can see right there, so that is the same as that, and then you're going to slide this into the carburetor. So just like this, you're going to slide the rod in there. And then we're gonna continue with the install. Next, you're gonna take this washer and you're gonna put it on the end of the shaft assembly right there. You can see just like that, the washer's just sitting there. So you're gonna place this bracket on like that, and you're gonna fasten it with this nut screw thing that came in the kit. Now this is a one-time use screw nut thing. If you have to back it out and use it again, a bit of Loctite might be able to fix that, but it's meant to be one-time use, and it's not supposed to bind up, so if you notice things binding up, back off, remove the washer, try again without it, maybe a bit of Loctite. This thing screw bolt is a 1/4 inch. Once you have the choke shaft installed, and this is moving freely without binding, you can see I got the washer in there. Then you're going to take some pliers and simply pull out this little brass plug here because the electric choke will be using it. Alright gamers, so you're just going to take this little lever here, you're going to attach it to the choke body, and then you're going to take this little rubber grommet, be careful not to lose it, and you're going to put it right there because it's going to seal the vacuum port that you just took the brass fitting out of to the choke housing. Now, as with figure 6, you're going to connect to the connecting rod, just in like here. And that's going to be good. You're going to have that seal, and then on to the next step. While making sure the rubber seal is still down in there, as you can see, and with the choke linkage connected, you're going to place that on there, and then just kind of play around with stuff with that lever connected, and make sure stuff's moving as it should with this held against that. Now, as you're screwing in this self-tapping screw here, this self-tapping screw here, and then there's another one here. They are all T20 screws, by the way. Do it loose at first, and then make sure the gasket, little rubber gasket there, does not come loose. You definitely need that for vacuum for the choke to operate, so pay attention. So I've started using force on the self-tappers and it seems the gasket's going to seat nice. Now these screws do require a bit of force to put in. It's not anything super hard, it's just pay attention. You will need to kind of press them in to get them started, and then they'll start burying themselves in the aluminum. Alright, now with the electric choke mostly ready to go, you're going to put the hairpin clip, this little clip, on this little rod here on the end so it doesn't come out. And be very careful with this clip. I already lost it once Tried to find another kit clip. Long story short, fell out of the carburetor 30 minutes later as I was just plugging away here. So very careful with these small parts, all of them. And now we can see the choke finally starting to come together with that attached. That moves the shaft. So let's get continuing. Next up, you're going to see the baffle plate with this little mark on it. It will only go one way, so put in the baffle plate, right, like that. Probably better to do on an angle. And with the baffle plate on, next take the gasket, put the gasket on. So next up, you're going to take the cap and you're going to try to align this little piece here with this little piece here. So as you can see, I'll put it on like that. And if you start twisting it, eventually the choke will move. So you can see that, move it back. So that's how the choke will operate. And I'm gonna twist it and you're gonna bring it to find out just where the choke lever starts moving and snug it down about there. And now, gamers, finishing up the process, you're gonna take these 3 retainers with these 3 remaining T20 Torx bits. Kind of hard to see on the camera focus, sorry. And with it properly adjusted to where you want, you're going to just place these down like this and snug them down. It doesn't need to be too tight. You don't want to go crazy on it, but just have it kind of so this isn't moving around freely on its own. Alright gamers, now the last thing to do is take this lever that we took off initially and put it back on top with the choke plate. Now the electric choke kit does supply a new one of the exact 3/16 little screw, so I'm going to be using that. This one probably still would work, but it's starting to strip and do not want to deal with that. So a nut driver would probably be the way to do this because a ratchet did not fit with that little thing there. But if you look at the angle of my little stubby, slightly angled 3/16 wrench, I'm making it work here. All right, I'm gonna put some big stress on this one. I tried with a 3/16 wrench, being very careful, and it nearly stripped the dang little screw there. It's probably a bit hard to see. Let's see if we can focus. There you go. But had to go out. I bought the 3/16 wrench just for this. Turns out it still didn't have the angle. You need a 3/16 nut driver for this bolt. It will not work properly without it. You could probably get it out with a stubby 3/16 wrench. Go buy a 3/16 nut driver. It is required. So I did have to remove the washer from the choke bracket over here. Even though everything is brand new, it still did bind up, but now everything seems to be in order. So everything's moving. If we move this little rod over here, this choke plate moves like I'd like it right now. The fast idle seems to be good. Just gotta hook that up and put the hair clip in. And I believe we're going to be good to go, and it's just fine tuning time.